right now, you are where you are, you're giving 60% when you have 120 in you. Why? Because you've never made a decision. Those of you in this room, you already there. Your problem is this is stuff you don't want to give up to go. To me, pound for pound, any agent in the room, pound for pound, motivational speaker, pound for pound, entrepreneur, pound for pound, athlete, pound for pound, weightlifter, pound for pound, whatever you do, I guarantee you when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Nino Brown. This is CFBPrime on the CFB Nation. And I got my guy, the governor of college football, Leverett KT. What's going down, my man?
Hey, man, we a night we get to talk football, man. Week 0 is here. I'm ready. I'm excited.
We're gonna we'll talk about some QB battle winners first.
Okay.
Then we'll get into week 0 and the 4-game slate. Right off the rip, let's talk. I thought it was kind of just smoke when South Carolina coach, Shane Beamer the other day was like, we got 2 quarterbacks that we can win with, and it's still a battle. And then we all knew that it was Lenora Sells, but Lenora Sells was named 2 days later, mind you, 3 days later, it might have been QB1. What are your thoughts? I think that if and we're gonna get into it next week on the Garnet Rouge with my man Brian Bosage, breaking down first week action, but if they could protect him, the potential, the sky's the limit, I think, for Lenora Sells. What are your thoughts?
I would have to agree. Initially going into this competition, I'm a huge fan of Robbie Ashford. Sometimes you look at these things and, we follow a lot of players. You start to really like players and you start rooting for them. But the writing was on the wall with this Lenora Sellers situation. Shane Beamer announced heading into fall camp, like, hey, Lenora Sellers heading into fall camp is our starting quarterback. Right. So all he had to do was come there, put the work in, be productive, and he was going to win the starting job. Got a hell of a running back behind him. You are the expert when it comes to the South Carolina Gamecocks. I love what you and Brian Bosage do on that show. But you mentioned it already in the opening. Can they keep him upright? I think it was by like week 8 of last season. Spencer Rattler had been sacked like 30-something times, like 37 times. This is just about like week 8 or 9 last year. So it's crazy. Can they keep him upright? The schedule is difficult this year. It's not as difficult as last year's was. Last year was one of the
I still believe it's top 15 in difficulty.
Yeah, it's SEC, bro.
Exactly. And you always, me and you always kind of butt heads when we talk about returning production, and they're returning for sure 70% of that offensive line, which was, lack of a better term, dog shit.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Back-to-back years, he's had 40 plus sacks allowed. Like, that's just gross. You can't figure it out. You're shuffling guys through, and you still can't figure it out.
Right. And all wasn't on the offensive line last year.
No.
Majority of it was, but there were times Spencer Rattler
holding on to the ball.
You're just looking to make plays, bro. Just trying to make something happen. You're down.
He got better at it though over his collegiate career. But when you only have 2.6 seconds to get rid of the ball, after a while, it gets kind of. I think he did well last year on the rest and everything that went with last season. That strength of schedule was just they ran the gauntlet for a while there.
Right.
But yeah, I think his mobility will help them, even if the line can't figure it out yet. I think it'll buy them a little bit of time because his mobility and the weapons that he has. I mean, if they can actually, if him and Nicholas Hava can get things to click,
you think he can translate his track speed? Because he has like world class
Olympic track
speed plus size. You know what I'm saying? Like can it translate? Because what do you have last year? Like 12 Was it like 12 catches he had last year?
Maybe there was games where he didn't even get snaps on offense,
Right,
but it was just
right.
special teams. I mean, we had the hobble watch on Garnet Roost, and there was weeks where there
Mhm.
was just all you heard was seagulls.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was nothing. There was nothing there. So I hope so. I just want. Where's he playing, bro?
Mhm,
Pick a position and just let the kid play. Is he going to tight end? Is he
mhm.
slot? Is he receiver? You're going to put him in the slot? You're going to put him on the outside? Whatever. Just pick once and let this kid develop that way. I mean,
Right.
freshman year, he kind of started the season as a tight end, and they moved him out to the wide out.
Mhm.
Last year he was kind of a wide out, but he really didn't get a lot of time when they kind of needed wide receivers
Right.
to have time because a lot of the guys were hurt. It was just gave you to get. I don't know. I just if they can get things clicking, I think that's a deadly combo. I think Lamar Sellers should elevate everybody on that South Carolina offense. One I was kind of surprised at slightly. I just thought that with the play that Grayson Loftus had last season in
Mhm.
a quarterback room that was kind of upside down after Riley Leonard got hurt. Malik Murphy, he did okay in the release of Quinn Ewers, but wasn't anything to wow me. It wasn't like the spring where everybody was like, "Whoo, Malik Murphy going to take Quinn Ewers' job."
After the spring game, his stock was all the way up. But you
Right.
saw it. You saw good Murphy, bad Murphy last year. The Kansas State game, for example, we got maybe about 22 minutes. He played phenomenally,
Mhm.
but Kansas slowly crept back into that game,
And
and
he
some of it
slowly
was
fell
just
apart.
some of it was poor play. And luckily, they was able to win that game because they didn't win that game. They wouldn't have made the college football playoff last year. But I think this is just what you kind of get. I think if Mike Elko was still at Duke, if he was still in Durham, he might have, Grayson Loftus probably would have been the starter, but he's gone. Manny Diaz is, at that whole head coach again, and he's trying to make a name for himself. You just look at Malik Murphy, he size, strength, he could throw the
off platform throws. Yeah.
he could sling it, but I I don't know. I don't have a good measuring stick for Duke this year. I really don't at all.
Do you think that Malik Murphy is on a short leash? Do you think that like if they're going like 4 or 5 games into the season and he doesn't seem to be like say whatever he's 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, or 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions,
Right, and
somewhere in that realm that they're 500 or under 500 after like 4 games. Like,
Mhm.
do you think they go, all right, man? Maybe we should give Loftus a chance. He came in as a true
Right.
freshman last year, as the last resort, and
Mhm.
did okay. He wasn't wowing anybody, but he did have some
Right.
big time throws. He also had some throws he
Mhm.
probably would have wished he could have rewound back. But kid was at the realm for a little bit. I know the offense changes and everything like that, and Manny Diaz is there, and he may not be, he may not even be at Duke come next
Right.
year when it's portal season. But do you think
Mhm.
that Malik Murphy has a short leash?
I'm not. I will hope not. I will hope that in Manny Diaz and company making this decision that they stick with the decision. I hate indecisiveness as it pertains to quarterbacks. This is something that you've heard me speak about time and time again.
Mhm.
I felt like it was the problem with my guy Cal McCord at Ohio State last year because they allowed things to bleed into the regular season. Make sound decisions, make them early. If this is your guy, stick with them until proven otherwise. I don't think he should be given a short leash because if you say that he won in the spring, he won in the fall, this is your guy, don't give him a short leash because then I feel like as far as Manny Diaz is concerned, then we're backtracking because there are people who's questioning his ability to be a head coach, not a positional coach at all. But there's people who's questioning his ability to be a head coach.
Yeah. And that will be a conversation I think that people might revisit come mid-season if they are not getting, firing on all cylinders.
Mhm.
Another quarterback I wanted to kind of talk about is Gio Lopez out of South Alabama. I know he was supposed to be the guy to take over, right? Major Applewhite was coming as the head coach. Gio Lopez, as the redshirt freshman, got a little bit of play last year, towards the end of the season for them. But he kind of really stunk bad in the spring game. I was concerned. I'm like, and then, as we convened for fall camp, he had a hand injury, and it seemed as though Davenport was going to be possibly pushing for maybe the QB1 role here. But it seemed as though he got stacked a couple good practices in this past week here, and got named QB1 for the Jaguars. What are your thoughts on Gio Lopez? I think Major Applewhite might have something on his hands here if he can develop him.
It, it all depends on that development. Like, you and I, we butt heads on return to production, but return to production only means anything if you do have the ability to develop. Some schools have the ability to recruit and recruit players where they are, and it is what it is. Other schools have the ability to recruit, 2 stars, 3 stars, and 4 stars and turn them up. So I don't know. Like, let me look at South Alabama's schedule.
He's also left-handed.
Lucky lefty, yes.
Yes. He's a mobile kid. He kind of has a little bit of that Jennings style to him. From SMU. But I was always an Applewhite fan. I thought the kid just had moxie in him, and and he kind of was under. He should have got more credit than what he did. There was 2 years of college football at Texas where he was a dude. You know what I mean?
They got some games on their schedule.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy by any means.
That North Texas at Ohio, we kind of don't know where they are. Northwestern State, then they got to go at App State, so they got to go to Boone. Then they go to the Big Easy at LSU, at Arkansas State, Troy, UL Monroe.
He's got a weapon though, and Jamal Pritchett. I think Jamal Pritchett is going to be the new Colin Lacey for them this year without a hiccup in that.
How many home games did they have? I feel like they only got like 4 or 5 home games. They play Georgia Southern, at Louisiana, at Southern Miss, home versus Texas State. So, do you think they can compete pretty well in the Sun Belt this year?
I think they could be in games, and you know what they say. All you got to do is just get a team to think that they belong there, right? You start.
That's it right there.
You start getting. Oh, we weren't even supposed to be here at halftime. We're within a field goal or 1 score away. And hey, we played 4 quarters. We lost by a field goal at the end to a team that we were 18-point under. All they got to do is stick around, start getting a little confidence and identity. Watch out! Like, I think Lopez Pritchett is going to be a thing, and I truly believe that Major Applewhite is going to be a kind of a guy we're talking about for like newcomer, new coach of the year. Where did he come from? We weren't expecting that. He had the background, but man, you mentioned North Texas. Chandler Morris is just named the starting quarterback over there. I think we kind of knew that was going to be the thing. Florida State transfer, right? Tate Rodemaker got named the starting quarterback for Southern Mississippi. Let me see. There's a couple other guys I just wanted to touch on real quick. This is another one. Miller Moss was named QB1.
Are you surprised by that? Because I know you had a theory. There was one quarterback battle you absolutely nailed. Boise State. Because you were just talking about like stripping. Of course, it's Malachi Nelson. Like he's bugging. And then when I saw the news, I said, "Huh?" I'm like, I know he didn't just nail it.
I just I don't know. So I was kind of just talking with SC before we went on and did Debbie Dollins about it. And he was like, "Oh, dude, I feel bad." I'm like, he kind of has no choice now. Right? He went down from P4 to G5. Most people that tear down are going there to build themselves up to tear back up, right? Like,
right. It was an opportunity. It was something that he should be able to go in, put some work in. He should have been named the starter, but that's the difference. People don't realize how hard the jump is from high school to college, and it's an even bigger jump from college to the NFL. But
here's the thing for me: he got beat out by a kid that didn't even play the whole year. I mean, he got hurt. Okay, I get that, but he wasn't super duper, right? I mean, he was 9-3 touchdown interception ratio. There were some. He has a can on him. He did make some big throws, right? But Eric McAllister was the benefit of some of those last year. Before he decided to shut it down and then transfer. But now he kind of can't transfer now, right? Like even at the end of the season, you got 2 years of no college football film. Granted, we all knew you weren't beating out Caleb Williams. But granted, that's 2 years of nothing. And now you tear down and got beat.
Going with JUCO?
No, I think he has to stay there.
You think he has to stay there?
So now you're looking at maybe 1 year at P4 production. Well, 5-star kid to try to get everything back. Wow. I mean, I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying that's a huge turn of events going in as a top-rated quarterback one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the class. You're not seeing him throw a ball or possibly not being QB1 until year 3.
That's rough. That's extremely rough. This is completely different from what Arch Manning is going through. Like he has a dude in front of him, and he was able to show flashes during the spring game,
right.
And we know he'll be the heir apparent. That's a completely different situation. But to leave USC, go to Boise State, like, okay, smart move. Like you said, you're gonna go to P4, he gonna do his thing. I'm sorry, you're gonna go to G5, do his thing in the G5, and then like you said, at the end of the year, let's see what happens.
So did Miller Morse scare the kid away? Did the bowl game? Did the kid be like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to be the quarterback here next year anyway. I gotta go.
I don't know, because you're right. You're right, because he'd have probably been better off staying put than going to Boise State and losing.
Putting a little pressure to Moss, just like Maivia is going to put a little pressure. Now, here's my question to you: is Miller Moss QB1 like Garrett Nuss is QB1? There's no freaking question about it, or is Maivia kind of pushing? And like I said with Malik Murphy, if he don't do well and gets out to a rough start, and that bowl game was just one fluke game for him, a culmination of just waiting for my turn.
Right.
Do they go to Maivia? Like or is Maivia always the developmental long term?
No. I don't think Miller Moss is the starting quarterback for the duration of the season, because USC is going to struggle at times this year. Like, this may be, if Lincoln Riley could get them to like 9-3, 8-4, it might be his best coaching job ever, because there's a different level that you're going to have to be able to play. Is he willing to win ugly games? Because it's always been sexy victories for him, right?
To win ugly games, you got to be good on defense,
right? You have to be, and I don't see it. I wasn't happy that they were in the AP poll top 25. Neither were you happy that they were in the AP poll top 25. And I mean,
especially going into the new conference,
we seen it with Lincoln Riley before, like heading into Spencer Rattler's last year in Norman before he transferred. He was supposed to be the dude. He's supposed to be, we talking about one of the top draft picks heading into the 2022 NFL draft, because I think the year was 2021.
Yes, 22.
Yeah. So 2022 NFL draft, and everybody was screaming for Caleb, and then Caleb happened. So no, is Miller Moss the quarterback for the duration of the season? Out of USC struggles early on, no. I want to see Lincoln Riley deal with an immense amount of pressure, because we see that he's been avoiding this LSU game. He avoided the smoke. I think when he found out that Oklahoma was going to the SEC. I'm not coaching there. I'm gonna go chill in the Pac-12. George Kliavkoff happened, and
I'll reel it back a little bit on calling him a fraud, and if he can develop Miller Moss. I think there's traits that Miller Moss has that could make him be something, and maybe make it to the next level. It's really hard for me to say. Quarterbacks aren't just usually 1 year flash something in 1 year and you're going to the NFL. It usually takes a couple
years.
Yeah, they want this cornucopia of collegiate ball that everybody's got to see. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I don't know. Miller Moss is what, a junior?
Is he listed as a junior?
Let me pull it up quickly and check.
Was he a freshman or sophomore?
Let me see. He is Miller Moss is a redshirt junior.
Redshirt junior. Okay.
So again, to my point about Maivia, it can't be for the future, right? Because he would only really have 1 more year after that, because he's right.
This is uncharted waters for your boy, man.
Yeah, So I wish the kid well. I have a funny feeling. And again, what happens if UFC starts out bad? It's not on Miller Moss, right? It's because that defense is atrocious.
Right.
And Lincoln Riley gets shit canned. Now you just unopened Pandora's box, right? Because the guy, whoever comes in, whoever's the intern, Miller Moss might not be his guy. He may like, you know what I mean? Like I don't trust the QB situation at USC at all.
I don't either, but I think because of the tumultuous years before Lincoln Riley got there, I think he has 2 or 3 bad seasons before they get rid of him. I think they like him, his ability to recruit. It'll be interesting.
He's lost a lot of recruits that have flipped over the time recently, and I mean with Caleb Williams, they had a plethora of talent in that wide receiver room. Okay,
once upon a time.
Last year there was plethora of talent. I mean, Branch was there, right? You had Mario Williams, who seemed to never do anything, right?
I think he'll ball out for Tulane this year, though.
Rice, like they had guys. Nothing. Like they weren't even remotely good last year.
Right.
They were struggling with teams that they should have been blown out of the water. You had Caleb Williams, #1 draft pick in the NFL. I'm pretty sure the upper people, powers that be, weren't too happy with what USC's putting out as a product over. I think Riley's the guy that's conducting that product. I'm thinking that, and I've been saying it for a little bit. I think his seat's a little bit hotter than most people.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's hot at all.
I don't think if he looks terrible in a new conference after not being good last year.
If not him, then who? Who would you hire? Who would want to go there?
That I can't tell you, but college football coaching staff is like a snow globe. You go like this, and then within a couple of weeks, there's a plethora of guys that you can
for
choose
sure,
from.
for sure.
So
especially during the coaching carousel, part of the season, like right after teams start playing in bowl games, there's definitely some guys, and we talk about this on Derby Darlings at the G5 level, that are ready to go up and prove that they are legitimate guys. I'm just saying, like, that's
the guy at UNLV.
Oh yeah. He
got an offensive scheme.
He deserves another shot at the G5.
In Southern California. And Brendan Marion, I'll tell you that right now. And it seems as though everybody wants to, get out of the old man, resort.
Oh yeah.
And start going to the younger generation of football coaches. So I'll just say, he might get a phone call. I don't know who could replace him. I don't see what Lincoln Riley's doing right now. That's so. He's untouchable. Right.
He's,
Okay. All right. Let's get into week 0 real quick. That was just a couple quarterbacks I wanted to touch on. That battles were won. I know I was kind of hoping and watching that Gio Lopez battle there for a while. Also Preston Stone, which he's fully healthy. They said that he's QB1 for week 1. So let's get it, because I think he has that NFL talent.
Kevin Jennings will play as well.
Yeah.
Rhett Lashley is a stand-up guy, bro. He truly is.
So I'm gonna let you run with this one first, because I know you probably. We'll talk about the elephant in the room, and then we'll just talk about the rest of the games here.
Okay.
Number 10, Florida State at Georgia Tech. Noon game, first game on the docket in Dublin, Ireland. Aviva Stadium. Over on 55.5. Florida State's a 10.5 point favorite. I think it just moved.
It did, because I think it was 11. Yeah.
I think it went up. I think this might have been an old one. I wrote it up. What do you? A lot of disrespect for Haynes King.
It is.
And the Tech staff there. Brent Key kind of been cooking, right?
Oh, he has.
Eric
Singleton.
Bring him. Singleton, Haynes in the backfield. Like they got some talent there.
He's such a likable guy too.
Are you all in? Now I'm bought in as a leader. I'm bought in as he can lead the team. I don't know if I'm bought in as he's going to be that D-A-T, dat.
Mhm.
Not T-H-A-T, dat.
Mhm.
I'm talking about that dude,
Mhm.
DJU. He needs to be that dude for them to be whatever these people that rank teams think that Florida State's going to be this year. What are your thoughts on DJU
Mhm.
in this game overseas against a good Tech
Mhm.
defense?
So that was a lot there. So Florida State was able to average 34.6 points per game. They had the number 19th offense. I think they were number 18th defensively last year. They were pretty balanced. Averaged 150 yards on the ground last season, 251 yards in the air. I think we all forgot about how bad things were for Jordan Travis before Alex Atkins, before Mike Norvell. He said it himself that he considered to stop playing football once upon a time. Right. So I think while Jonathan Smith and the Oregon staff did a great job with DJ last year, I think with Alex Atkins and company, I think you'll see the best variation of DJ. But going back to Georgia Tech, I like Georgia Tech a lot. I like Brent Key. I like the moxie. Jamal Haynes is exciting. Haynes Kings is exciting. But I think this matchup here will be a matchup between the coordinators. It'll be a matchup between Alex Atkins and Florida State's offense versus Georgia Tech defense and their defensive coordinator, Tyler Tukey. You know what's the weirdest thing that I'm most excited for is this game? And I don't know if it was all of the Connor Stallions from last year. It's the green dot, bro. Like, I'm so excited to see that communication, how fast offenses will get to the line, because the play clock in college isn't as long as the play clock in the NFL. And it cuts off at what, 15 seconds, right?
Yeah. But they got tablets now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how all of this works. Of course, they're overseas at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. But I like this matchup. Georgia Tech I would be much more higher on Georgia Tech this year if their schedule wasn't so rough. Ninth toughest schedule in the country, bro. Only non-SEC school that ranks in the top 10 for toughest schedules in the country.
But it's week 1. And they're overseas, so it's on even ground.
Right. Who's going in business as usual and who's going in like, oh, we on vacation?
And I think there's a lot of moving parts on this offense. Mm-hmm. Johnny Wilson, gone. Keon Coleman, gone. Jaheim Bell, gone. Trey Benson, gone. Right? Yeah. Like, that's a lot of moving parts. And you're bringing in, Roy Del Williams is named RB1, which I think that, Jalen Lucas is going to be a dude. Like, I know that, whatever is Taufali.
Toafili.
He'll be that other back when they run the 2-back sets there. But I think Jalen Lucas can be that. Like, he just screams to me like James White Patriots. Like, that, can rip off runs, but can be an absolute playmaker, with the pass catching abilities and just coming out of the backfield. Is Jaylen Brown and Malik Benson, are they gonna be able to replace Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson?
That's a lot of production that you're trying to replace
early
overseas. Overseas they do have a little bit more speed on the outside because Johnny Wilson wasn't the fastest and Keon Coleman. I mean, we seen this 40. I thought he played faster though.
But they can put a ball to a spot in the ceiling.
Those guys could go get it.
My thing is Georgia Tech's offense is kind of just like grease the fittings, and let's fire up the engine and let's rock. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Put the 93 ethanol gas in, and go there.
They want to go fast. That's their thing. They want to go fast.
They have the weapons to go fast. Like that's the Eric Singleton. Hey, I think Jamal Haynes is super underrated. I think you're about to see.
Yes.
Big breakout season from him, both on both sides of the offense, on the receiving end and on the
because he had like 20 catches last year, and he's a wide receiver naturally
converted.
So he should that number should definitely.
I if you're a gambling man, I'm taking Tech in this game. We're talking gambling. You give me 11.5 points.
Oh, for sure, I agree with you 100%. When I saw that spread, I was like, I'm going Tech overseas, Aviva Stadium. We didn't see Magic there last year. It was a beatdown last year, but the year before, if you remember, That was Scott Frost, Northwestern win. Scott Frost.
Oh, they'll leave him on the
so
comment, bro. Leave him on the
Dude,
comment, bro. We're done.
Dude, there was so much content that year because of Scott
Oh.
Frost, bro. It was so much content, dude.
Yeah, like Georgia Tech's defense just has to apply pressure. Just has to be able to get to DJU, make him uncomfortable. If you give DJU time in the pocket, he will pick you apart. That's something that he can do. But I think that the X factor here is Haynes King's legs, his mobility. I know that Florida State has some dogs on the defensive side of the ball, and they can get after you. I just think that he extends plays, or he can kind of make you whiff a little bit. Where now he can 3, 4, 5 yards. Boom. Okay, let's get the next one going.
He just gotta keep them turnovers down. 16 interceptions was a bit much last season, but he was dynamic on the ground.
Right.
Or like 9 rushing touchdowns, something like that last season. It's crazy.
All right. Next game up. I know you're gonna want to talk about this gentleman. Montana State at New Mexico. It's a 4:00 game. FS1. It's in New Mexico, right? The over-under is 54.5.
Listen, I knew nothing about Montana State prior to about 45 minutes ago, but touchdown Tommy is legit. That's what I do, though.
Yo, they're favored by 11.5 points.
Montana State is favored?
Unless I'm reading this wrong, it says MTST minus 11.5. That's Montana State. Any way you cook it, right?
Yeah.
They're favored. I mean, like I mentioned to you,
they've been a staple in the FCS playoffs. So
they had a year last year, but they lost their starting quarterback. You know, I believe he transferred. Yeah, their starting quarterback transferred out of there. So Devin, speaking of starting quarterbacks, Devin Dabia just got named starting quarterback for the Lobos. Kind of dual threat guy. I think he's got a big arm. Tommy Mullet seems like now that Cliffort's gone. You talk about a dude. I told you 16 touchdowns. Clifford had 16 touchdowns on the ground, another 600 yards. So it's like
that's crazy.
That's a lot of voided attempts, yardage, and red zone.
They run a fun offense. Like some of the plays I seen them do a Philly special.
I feel like they're in that Wildcat, triple option RPO style offense. They just kind of grind it. He's out. Tommy Mullen 1,000 yards last year. All right, total. He attempted to throw the ball for what I say to you, like 109 times or something like that.
It wasn't a lot. I feel like the best athlete on the team plays quarterback, bro. Like that's the type of team I
So I was thinking New Mexico here. I kind of like New Mexico as the underdog.
As far as the spread is concerned,
Tommy Mullet. I'm taking
I'm taking Montana State
the points. Screw it. Tommy Mullet probably
and the
Tommy
spread.
Mullet, I want to know if what is play Froton. Where you at, my dude? What is Tommy Mullet's player props? Because I think Tommy Mullet, whatever
However
you want
you
to call
say his name, right?
I think this guy's going off for like 400 total yards, probably 4 touchdowns. Tommy Mullet's coming in hot. Week 0.
He is. So when you guys find out about him after week 0, because everybody kind of watches all the week 0 game. It's always interesting seeing the first 2 weeks of college football, especially week 1. We get all of these crazy games. Like people who are true NFL fans are like watching, and you see Twitter versus kind of on fire. Like everybody's like
DJ Hughes a Seminole. What?
Yeah. Like it's those type of vibes. So I can't wait, bro.
All right. Next game on the dock is a game I'm interested in a lot because I believe that this kid's kind of a dark horse for kind of like a Spencer Rattler, maybe get a little bit better than Spencer Rattler projected wise to the next level. SMU travels to Nevada. It's an 8:00 game on CBS. And
I'm excited for that game.
Yeah. SMU is a 25.5 point favorite. The over-under is 56.5. Preston Stone has been named the starting quarterback for week 1. Jennings will play, so there will be some packages for him. I'm going to go with, I believe those packages maybe are more mobile Pressmans.
For sure.
and
because
just chuck it around.
he runs the RPO a lot better than Preston Stone does.
That's why I believe Preston
Mhm.
Stone has the talent. That guy had
Mhm.
3,200 yards, 28-6 touchdown ratio
Mhm.
last year, 60-something% completion.
Mhm.
The kid's got it, right? I think he has the moxie. He can make the layered throws.
Oh yeah.
He can put the bucket throws downfield. I mean, he goes through his progressions well. Jennings may be better mobile, but Stone's not a statue.
Mhm.
We're not looking at Medusa out there.
No, he's not. He is mobile, and I don't think he's given enough credit for mobile.
But
Is he a dual threat? No, but is he mobile? Absolutely.
he's mobile enough in the pocket to
Mhm.
avoid pressure. He's mobile enough to kind of roll out, extend the play a little bit, and
Mhm.
maybe get a guy to get open. I like Stone's game.
You know who I'm buying a lot of stock in this year?
Talk
He's
to me.
he's a legacy kid too. He's a legacy kid.
Go ahead.
I'm buying a lot of stock in him. R.J. Merlin, Russell Merlin's son, who was the first pick of the 1991 NFL draft by the Dallas Cowboys. I got a chance to talk to him at ACC Media Days. I'm buying stock
I
in
like
R.J. Merlin.
tight end.
Uh-huh.
He's my sleeper guy. Him
Mhm.
and Rivaldo Fairweather. I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of both of those gentlemen. I think RJ Maryland is going to be
I didn't even
second on the team in
recognize.
receiving last year.
Right. I didn't even recognize that they had Jalen Knighton from Miami. I didn't even recognize that. I
He
knew
was there
they.
last season.
Yeah, he was, and they got an immense amount of talent in that wide receiver core. I'm a huge fan of the coach. I just don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep him. Is he one of those dudes like? Not a lot of people impress me when it come to coach speak because you can kind of tell the difference. Okay, this person's just talking coach speak versus Big 10. I'm sorry, Big 12 media days are a lot different from ACC media days. But Rat Lashley, just the energy, he's got like that infectious energy. I'm like, I really like this guy, and he's loyal too, and I think he's loyal to Kevin Jennings because what Kevin Jennings was able to do when Preston Stone got hurt last year, and it was ugly. Like even when they beat Tulane in a conference, it was ugly. I think Bro threw like 2 or 3 interceptions in that game.
Same thing in the Wasabi Bowl
Yeah,
against
yeah.
BC. I mean, I said to you before, I
Mhm.
believe Preston Stone plays that
Oh
game.
yeah,
It's a different outcome.
yeah.
Whether even with the
Mhm.
downpouring rain,
Right.
I think that the Russell commitment flip weighed a lot more on Rhett than
Mhm.
people think. Like
That's a great take.
the money's not there.
Mhm.
It's going to be hard for him if Jennings leaves. What's he left with? You know what I mean? Like now the guy, a 5-star talent,
Mhm.
4-star talent, now he's at Alabama, right? Like that was his future. That was his ace in the hole because Stone's gone,
Right.
barring health concern. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And yeah, Kevin Jennings could be the future, but is Kevin Jennings there? If he gets called, hey, if they're offering Fowler from Colorado State
Mhm.
$600K, right?
Right. I see
And
where you're going.
SMU can't match the NIL money, and they're losing guys left and right
Mhm.
here. It was a domino effect of decommitments after Russell decommitted.
Mhm.
They lost wide receiver, they lost defensive guy. They just lost guys left and right.
Mhm.
If Jennings looks promising and flashes this year in the time that he has plays, how are they going to keep him?
Yeah, you can't guarantee that even with the resources because SMU is in the heart of Dallas. I think they're a little bit more careful now because we all know about the death penalty.
That's what I'm saying.
And all of that. So it's like you got to be, even though the resources are plentiful, I think they do have to be careful.
Are they as plentiful as you think?
Ah.
If they were plentiful, you don't think they could have kept Russell?
If I think the resources are plentiful. I just don't think they exert them as much as they can because of the fear of the death penalty. Think about it. It's been almost 40 years since the death penalty. They're just making it back up to the stage, bro. Just making it back up to the stage, bro. 37 years later. They're just back up on the stage, bro.
Nobody's getting a death penalty anymore.
Yeah. No, not now.
Now it's like it's all bend it, don't break it.
Yeah. Nah. Charlie Baker and them don't got the stones to give me.
No, they're too busy tap dancing around every issue and question that they get.
Right. This is Charlie Baker's favorite dance.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I like SMU. I like what they bring to the table this year. Nevada just named Brendan Lewis QB1. That was yesterday or this morning. Now,
yeah, a lot of people chose today to name starting quarterbacks. His stats. What he had like 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, or like 3 touchdowns.
I think he had 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1,300 yards. But he had 495 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground.
Okay.
And he kind of was like back and forth with Chubba Purdy. Chubba Purdy's having an MRI. He could be out for some time. So it seems as though the former Buffalo Brendan Lewis is going to be leading Nevada. I think Lewis and Sean Dollar, I put it up on X. I think Lewis and his mobility and Sean Dollars at running back to combine, I think this could be a heavy 1-2 combination.
They got a linebacker I like too, and Drew Watts.
Okay,
I like him a lot. I think it was twice honorable mention in this conference the last couple of years. I forgot his stats. I don't have it pulled up. But he'll be pretty good. But I got SMU by a landslide.
I don't know if they'll cover the spread.
That spread's wild. But
Drew Watts had.
I think they'll cover.
You think they'll cover?
I think they'll cover. Oh, they're gonna put on the show. They want to let the ACC know we're here.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Your boy Watts had 90 tackles last year and 1.5 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries,
but like 6.5, I think, tackles for loss or something like that. So
he's a dude. Yeah, I don't see Nevada being in it because I think there is going to be more of a ground and pound team, and for them to even do that, they'd have to be up. Yeah. And I don't think that they will be up in this game. Nate Burleson's, the second. I like him a lot. I know he's dealing with a hand injury. I don't know if he's healthy. I kind of posted about him for Nevada.
That sounds crazy. Like in my mind, that sounds crazy, bro. Nate Burleson the second. That's wild.
Yeah, right. It's just so many of them. It's like 3 of them on that Plaxico Burris' son,
right? You think about it like Jerome Bettis, Russell Merlin were drafted, in the early kind of mid 90s, you know what I'm saying, with Jerome Bettis, but like Nate Burleson, like I feel like he's like close to our age. It just sounds weird that
you see him on Good Morning, NFL and stuff, and
he does a phenomenal job too.
Yeah, and now you got his kid out here cutting it up in the wide receiver room. If healthy, I'd love to see him. I hope he kind of is able to take off this year. All right, next game on the docket, the last game. I got a funny little tidbit I want to tell you about. Delaware State takes on Hawaii. Hawaii, it's at Hawaii. It's at the complex, Ching Athletics Complex in Honolulu, Hawaii. Hawaii's favored by 39.5 points. Over under is 57.5. So, simple mathematics there makes me seem that Hawaii is going to score a lot of points. Delaware State probably not going to score too many points. The Hornets of Delaware State, didn't get their MEAC season started off too well because they missed their flight. They had a bus malfunction of some sorts. So they missed their 10.5-hour flight out of JFK to Hawaii. I don't believe that flight's taking off today. I believe it's tomorrow. Your window here of practice and kind of checking in gets really, really small. I don't know. I feel you're looking at a team that had the top quarterback had 1,500 yards last year and had a 9-9 touchdown interception ratio. Timmy Chang's going to want to probably put 100.
Oh yeah,
in this game. Hawaii's got some dudes on the offense. Steve McBride is not back with the team, following his arrest earlier in the offseason. But Hawaii got some guys. Pope Athlete is an absolute stud. I think that kid is going to just continue to stack good seasons after good seasons. Deep threat for the Rainbow Warriors. Another guy that I posted about, Alex Perry. This kid that's going to be a deep threat for them as well. He's going to reap the benefits of no McBride there. But Brendan Strager, he got a cannon. This kid just chucks it, absolute howitzer, chucks the ball around. Like I said, we all know what Chang likes to do. And I think, starting the season off, didn't start so well last year for them. I think he's going to want to start this year off the kind of flipping it around, 316 from what happened to them last season. What are your thoughts on Hawaii this year and this game to close out week 0?
It's interesting because I believe it's their head coach third season here, and I think we've seen the last 2 seasons they got shellacked on opening day. Delaware State, that is it's a little heartbreaking to hear. I went to college in the Del Mar is what they call it, in that small section of like Delaware, Maryland on the Eastern Shore and the Eastern Shore, Virginia as well. So it's heartbreaking to hear that they missed their flight, because a lot of times I know these bigger schools pay these smaller schools to come out and get embarrassed.
Yeah.
So
it's all about a check.
How difficult is it to get a chartered flight as well too? You thinking they missed it? Right, you got to reschedule it. That puts you a whole nother day behind.
That's what I'm saying. So then if they left first thing tomorrow morning, it's 10.5 hours. So they left at 8.
I'm taking the over on the points. I think I'm taking the over on the spread.
Taking Hawaii in the over.
Yeah.
I mean, I think sophomore quarterback Marquis Adams for the Hornets, he's going to just be having an uphill battle. Like I said, 1,400 yards. He was 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year. He did have close to 300 yards on the ground. He better get used to running. I have a funny feeling he's going to be running for his life in this game. I think why he's just going to be, throwing that pressure with that 4-2-5 defense, and then Timmy Chang's run and shoot, just go, baby, go. Rainbow Warriors offense. You think that they can go bowling this year? Let's pull up before we close it out. Let's pull up Hawaii.
Let's pull up their schedule. Let's
see what
it's just hard with in the conference there, man.
All right. Right off the rip, like I said, we got Delaware State, right? Then another home game against UCLA, but I think they get blown out.
Yeah, and then Sam Houston wasn't a slouch in there. I think that was their debut season.
Yeah.
At the FBS last season,
with an offense that was pretty much just run the ball down your throat and then maybe a big play offensively downfield here and there. They were able to win some games they shouldn't have and be in a lot of games that people probably didn't expect them to be in. And that one's on the road. That's a flight, Hawaii to Texas. After that game, at home against Northern Iowa, they travel on the road to San Diego State. I'm sorry. I think I called it the day before it happened, the morning of him being named the starter. True freshman Danny O'Neal was named the starter. San Diego State. I think this kid is going to go ballistic year one. He came in there and told AJ Duffy, "Hold my beer." Everybody said AJ Duffy was going to be easily. So you look at any preview website out there, it was AJ Duffy will lead this offense. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
My boy said, "Yeah, eat shit, homie. I got this." I just think this kid is going to take off like a ball. He's got swagger. He got an arm. He can make those put the ball up there where just my receiver can go and get it. As a youngin like that, almost 7,500 total yards in his time, 90 touchdowns in high school. He got it. So I think that's a game that they're probably going to lose. Boise State, I don't know what kind of Boise State game we're getting, but if I get what Maddox did in the few games he played when he was healthy, I think Boise State might be in better shape than a lot of people thinking. I heard and I started to believe that they were just going to be a run the ball team. It was going to be Dunbar and Genty for about 500 attempts this year, right? And then whoever was at the helm was just going to be a manager.
Right.
Madsen being named a starter means I don't think they're just going to manage. I think that this kid's got a little bit of some oomph to him, and they're going to probably let him hit the ball out a little bit. So I don't know if Boise State is a pushover game. I know it's in Hawaii. That might be the only factor that helps them. You know what I mean?
Those 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. start times are crazy.
Oh, yeah. And then they travel to Washington State, which isn't that bad of a flight. All right. They get Nevada at home. They travel to Fresno State. All West Coast games,
Right.
Home against UNLV. They travel to Utah State. They close out the season against New Mexico. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what Utah State is going to be this year. I think that game is a 50-50 pick 'em right now. As I told you, I don't trust Spencer Petras. I love Jalen Royals, but I New Mexico. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a college chance that these guys could get 5 wins?
They definitely have a shot because they'll beat Del State.
Sam Houston's 50-50, right?
Sam Houston's 50-50.
I think they beat Northern Iowa.
They should beat Northern Iowa. Yes.
Even if they lost to San Diego.
You think Nevada's a 50-50 game?
I think Nevada's a 50-50 game. I think Utah State's a 50-50 game.
And then New Mexico will be a 50-50 game.
So 1, 2.
They got a shot. I didn't think their chances were strong. I would have confidently said hell no before I looked at the schedule. After looking at the schedule, they have a chance.
They have a competent wide receiver room that can put out production. They have a competent big armed quarterback, and Brendan Sugar that can chuck the ball downfield. Yeah. They got a head coach with balls that hang down to the freaking to the field. He don't give a
former quarterback.
Yeah, let's go.
He
don't care.
He's with it.
And they're an offensive scheme that just put up the points. And if you can't hang, they've never been a defensive team. Hawaii's never been a team that's going to hold you to 10. Right?
No.
It's kind of whoever scores the last touchdown is going to win. This run and shoot style with these playmakers that schedule, these guys might mess around and win 5 or 6 games. And we could be talking about Hawaii in a bowl game for first time in I don't know how long. It's been a grip.
It's been a while.
Timmy might have been there when they went to the last bowl game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's been a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see. But this has been an absolute banger of an episode. Me and you were just like, oh yeah, we'll talk week 0s or QB battles. What's going on the fly? Next thing you know, we're up here almost an hour, 52 minutes. So I'm Nino Brown. That's the governor of college football, Leverett KT. This is CFB Prime on the CFB Nation. Blow the damn whistle.